All right, Brew Crew, welcome back to another edition of the Weekend Update. I'm going to take a quick look at the indexes here before talking about some of the things that I've been seeing and how to approach the market this coming week. Starting with SPX, just floating higher, still holding trend, so can't argue with that. Again, like last week, keep in mind how compressed the whole move up has been. Very narrow ranges, just looks like it's struggling to make any significant moves higher. I know the general tendency is to want to get short here, but that's not really my style. I know I'm bad at picking tops, so I just don't do it. I'd rather wait for confirmation, at least a break and a close below the trend line, and then ride that move down. And the downside target for a potential bounce first would be at 33.1050 on the ES, which is the bottom of this entire grind up, and then a retest of that would be shortable as well because you have this gap to fill, and then you have the virgin point of control to target at around ES 32.92. Virgin point of controls are like magnets, so prices tend to like to revisit those areas. Again, I'm not beating the bear drum, I'm just bringing up these targets to keep in the back of your mind as targets to consider only if we do begin to fall. NDX in a bit more of a stronger uptrend, nothing to really see here. I threw up a fib extension just for fun to see where tech could take us if it goes higher. We basically just tagged the 1618, so the 2618 would be next, although I honestly think it's going to be hard to make it up there this week given what's happening under the hood in the markets. So the approach is the same as last week, cautiously bullish via plays like call ratios or broken wing butterflies, stuff of that sort. RUT, this is relatively weaker than the other two. You can see here we're pulling back to test this 20 MA, which is also this prior resistance turns support, hopefully. So watch this level. It's going to be important coming into this week. I'd say if we get a close below that support, look to first target this prior balance area down here, which is where we broke out of previously before the run up. This area lines up also with the 200 MA as well. So obviously S&P and NASDAQ just keep drifting higher, but if we look under the hood at the internals, we'll see that the move up is really only supported by a few stocks. Here's a snapshot of the internals after the close on Friday. Here I'm looking at the NYSE breadth. The important thing to note here is the difference in the advancers and decliners over here. You can see that more stocks made new lows than those that made new highs, and more volume flowed into stocks that closed lower than its previous day versus higher. So that's not bullish either. Same thing with the NASDAQ, right? You can see the number of decliners is larger than advancers and more volume in the decliners as well. Yet, the S&P and the NASDAQ are moving higher, right? So obviously they're being propped up by just a few of the major tech names, as you know. Even a couple of the Dow stocks like Home Depot, where money is just flowing into those. Again, I'm not calling for a top, but typically in a healthy market rally, you kind of want most stocks rising in tandem, not just a few. So that's something to note, and just be aware of that this move up is happening on pretty bad internals. With this information, I think the story remains the same, and I'll be looking to put on plays that are cautiously bullish, that cost zero debit, like call ratios or broken wing butterflies. Basically avoid paying a debit for the trade, and if it works out, then great, we get paid, and if it doesn't, then no harm, no foul. All right, I'll leave it at that. If you're a new subscriber here or a follower on Twitter, we appreciate you. And for those that hopped in our chat room, I think it's going to be fun discussing thoughts on trade ideas and setups with these types of options strategies, especially with this type of sideways to up market that we've been seeing lately for some time. As for the content here, typically on the weekdays, you'll see me give updates on trades that I throw out on Twitter and maybe in the chat room. And on the weekends, I'll typically make a video going over one of the trades that we put on that week and do a retro on it, as well as some quick overview of the markets going into the following week, much like this one. If you're new to options, again, Tasty Trade is a good resource, getting your feet wet with the trades that they do with real money, or if that's a bit too daunting, there's always Thinkorswim's paper money account that you can try out those different strategies and really see how the options work in real time in the markets. I will say that it's a bit harder to learn with paper money though, because I believe quotes are delayed by like 20 minutes or something when you're in paper money mode, so it's hard to really see in real time what's happening to your options positions as the market moves. When I got started with Tasty Trade, I was just using real money, kept the size small, and stayed pretty engaged with the trades that they did in their show every day. That's pretty much how I got the feel for options. Now, if you're more advanced and you get this stuff and you like it, I have to give credit where it's due. So with that said, I welcome you to check out Shadow Trader if you haven't already. I've been a disciple of him for quite some time and I love his work. The types of plays that you see us putting on here basically take the same approach that he does, very short-term directional or credit collection plays via these types of option strategies. For example, the Tesla write-up on Reddit or the Apple trade last week, Facebook from a few weeks ago, where we put them on for a credit or a slight debit and flip them back out for a larger credit. Honestly, when I first started after being with Tasty Trade for some time, I realized that Shadow Trader style is what I vibed with better. So give that man a follow, he deserves it. He's already pretty big like, so he probably doesn't care. I'm sending love his way, but I'll leave a link down in the description below to his channel anyway, and you can check him out for yourself, all right? And as always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below, and feel free to join us by checking out the links to our Twitter, Discord, and Twitch down in the description below. It's all free. We share our thoughts and analysis and trades and setups, entries, exits, all that good stuff, all that good commentary, all those good vibes, all right? But for now, stay safe, Brew Crew, and we'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.